Well, we're going to talk more about Caitlin Clark's absence and the impact this is felt. That's being felt around the league and even in Indiana. It's going to be a big impact.
You know it's getting wild when one player is dragging the entire WNBA like a busted fridge up 5 flights of stairs. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing in the league. She is the league. She's the headline, the plot twist, and the reason half the country even remembers the WNBA exists. As for TV ratings, let's just say if ESPN had arms, it would be hugging Caitlin Clark tighter than a caffeinated koala.
What somebody tweeted me and asked about earlier today that I want to show you. Tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I. Right, Stephen A. Smith. Can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out? End quote.
We're talking record-breaking, eyebrow-raising, XX-popping champagne TV numbers. The kind of viewership the WNBA probably thought went extinct with dial-up internet. Suddenly, folks who haven't watched a women's game since Lisa Leslie threw down a dunk are tuning in like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Remote controls across America are practically begging for an ice pack from all the channel flipping to catch Caitlin Clark in action. And yet, the WNBA is acting like she's just another name stitched on a jersey. If Caitlin's presence is 24-karat gold, the league's front office looks like it's trying to cash it in for expired Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
You guys, today the ratings are out. Indiana Fever versus the New York Liberty, Caitlin Clark's most recent game on cable TV. And on top of that, the WNBA, desperate to sell tickets to tonight's...
Let's be honest, the WNBA didn't roll out a red carpet for Caitlin Clark. They rolled out a yoga mat and said, make it work. Commercial flights, a schedule that would make coal miners wince, and treatment that's one cardigan short of elder neglect. And yet, Caitlin's not just living up to the hype, she's shattering it. All while getting side-eyed by jealous teammates and body-checked by players who seem to think they signed up for WrestleMania. If this is how the league handles its one golden ticket, you have to wonder how they treat the rest of the roster. Now she's injured, and suddenly, the silence is deafening.
Nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balls. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the... She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table.
Has just been ruled out for the next 2 weeks, and ticket sales are already down 75%. So if you didn't know, Caitlin Clark injured her hamstring and is out for the next 2 weeks, including 2 road games. One of those games being against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, where they have a very heated rivalry. Just 2 days ago, the cheapest ticket to get into the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game was $86, and now it's down to $25. This is also against the same person who said the reason people come to watch the WNBA is because of her talking about Angel Reese, but she cannot even keep the ticket prices up. The teams that Caitlin Clark was supposed to play against over these next 2 weeks also already rented out a bigger stadium because of how many people they were expecting to have show up to see Caitlin Clark play. And because the WNBA is only about 40 games, she is missing a huge chunk of time with being out 2 weeks in June.
You could practically hear the panic ripple through WNBA headquarters. One sprained ankle and suddenly everyone's scrambling like they just dropped a baby in the deep end. Because here's the reality. The league doesn't just miss Caitlin Clark's highlights, it misses relevance. Without her, it's back to echoing gymnasiums that sound like church basements and attendance so low you could hear players' thoughts. And let's be real, it was never just about her game. It was the drama, the electricity, the buzz. Without Caitlin, the WNBA is once again out here trying to sell water in a rainstorm.
Oh boy, WNBA fans, y'all are screwed. Look at that. Caitlin Clark is out 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Do you know how bad the WNBA ratings are going to be for the next 2 weeks? Nobody watches the WNBA at all if it's not for Caitlin Clark in the first place. Now that she is hurt, who in the world is going to watch these games? Who in the world is going to watch a WNBA game without the biggest star the sport has seen ever? Like, this is going to be hilarious the next couple of weeks when these ABC stations, TNT, ESPN, see how bad the ratings are when Caitlin Clark isn't playing. And then all the players are going to see, oh, wow, we actually need Caitlin Clark to play in these games for us to try to make money.
Meanwhile, social media is in full mourning mode. Comment sections look like digital memorials. People aren't just sad, they are furious. Because everyone saw this coming. You run a player into the ground, stack back-to-back games like it's a punishment, then act shocked when her body finally says enough. Caitlin Clark's being treated like a one-woman circus act, expected to pull off nightly miracles while everyone else crosses their arms and acts like she's just lucky to be there. Spoiler alert, the only luck Caitlin has is that she hasn't torn the rim clean off the backboard from overuse. Now let's talk numbers, because that's where the real heat is. Her games have outperformed every other WNBA matchup this season by laughable margins. When Caitlin plays, everything hits different. The lights shine brighter, the crowd roars louder, the sponsors smile wider, and the popcorn easily 30% saltier. When she's out, the drop-off isn't just noticeable, it's a cliff dive. Ratings without Caitlin look like a broken EKG, flat, lifeless, and borderline embarrassing. Even the fans admit it. No Caitlin, no clicks. That's not just star power. That's domination.
Caitlin Clark effect is real. Caitlin Clark effect is alive and well, but unfortunately for the WNBA, she's now out for a minimum of 2 weeks before she gets reevaluated. So they might not see numbers like this for quite some time. This next Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, June 7th, I believe, that's going to be on CBS as well. You think that's going to draw 2.7? I can assure you it won't. You think that's going to draw over 2 million? I can assure you that won't.
So how does the WNBA respond? By throwing Caitlin Clark to the Wolves. And by Wolves, we mean defenders with the subtlety of a demolition crew on a double shot of espresso. The league's biggest draw in years gets tossed into the lion's den wearing a target on her back and a glowing neon sign that basically screams, "Please foul me," repeatedly. Her minutes, stretched thinner than discount spandex. As if overworking a rookie in the most physical league on earth is some sort of growth strategy. And protection. That's a joke. The refs might as well be handing out coupons. One free hard foul. No consequences. Now she's hurt, and the league is doing its best impression of a confused shrug, already pivoting, scanning the room like, okay, who's next? Spoiler alert, there isn't a next. Because the moment Caitlin hit the floor, grabbing that injury, the freight train of momentum she'd built, buzz, ratings, excitement, slammed headfirst into a brick wall. Just like that, the energy evaporated. The WNBA bet big on her star power. But they forgot one thing. You don't build a league by breaking your brightest star.
We need her to play for us to get views, so maybe we should stop hurting her. Oh, maybe they'll finally see that they need Caitlin Clark. I mean, I can't believe we even have to discuss this, that she's even, if you don't think she's the biggest star in the sport, you're delusional. This girl carries not only her team, but her sport and her league. She carries the league, and you're going to find out.
Now let's talk about the Indiana Fever. If you thought they didn't immediately feel Caitlin Clark's absence, think again. Their latest game against the Washington Mystics? A painful spectacle, like watching a chicken try to ride a jet ski. Confused, chaotic, and absolutely not winning any awards. The Fever dropped that 187-83, and the desperation was thick enough to spread on toast. The players looked like they were waiting for Caitlin to magically burst out of a Gatorade cooler and save the day. Spoiler. She didn't. Without Caitlin, the Fever are like pizza without cheese. Technically still pizza, but emotionally devastating. The offense moved slower than dial-up in a fiber optic world. The defense, about as present as a sitcom dad in the 90s. Shots were missed like the rim had a restraining order. Spacing was tragic. Rhythm, non-existent. The whole vibe felt like trying to power a roller coaster with a single AA battery. Just not going to happen. It's a harsh, undeniable truth. Sometimes, one player really can make or break an entire team.
the miserable task of watching the Indiana Fever play basketball without Caitlin Clark. There were a whole lot of things wrong with this game on the basketball side of things. Obviously, the Indiana Fever's interior defense was horrible. If you watched this game, you saw them give up, I think, over 50 points in the paint. Aaliyah Boston looked like a cone down there. It was literally horrible to watch. I haven't seen a team play that bad interior defense in a long time. They were not even trying. It's like Caitlin Clark wasn't playing out there, and they decided, you know what, since Caitlin Clark isn't playing, we're not even going to try. We know we're going to lose. It was horrible to watch. This is a game you could have won against the youngest team in the league. You're playing against a bunch of rookies out there. This was a winnable game for the Indiana Fever. This team, mind you, with Caitlin Clark, literally lost by 2 to the New York Liberty, which is the championship team last year. And without Caitlin Clark, you look trash out there. And it's not even that they look trash. They are boring to.
Everyone gave it their all. But let's be real. This game had a Caitlin-sized void that no amount of hustle could fill. You can't replace that kind of presence with pure effort alone. No one on the Fever drew defenders like she does, forcing the opposition into scramble mode. No one created those clutch, momentum-shifting moments when everything felt like it was slipping away. And most importantly, no one lit that intangible spark. The hey, maybe we can pull this off energy that keeps a team fighting late into the fourth. Instead, the Fever looked like they were running on fumes, trying to patch up a Caitlin-shaped hole with a shaky, collective "we got this" that sounded more like a whisper than a war cry. It was the kind of performance that didn't just miss her, it practically screamed "please come back," louder than a rom-com X with a boom box outside your window. Desperate, hopeful, painfully obvious. Meanwhile, the Mystics smelled blood, and they feasted. Watching them go to work was like seeing a school of piranhas stumble on a lone, wounded fish. They didn't just win, they devoured. This Fever team without Caitlin? It's not just different, it's exposed.